I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel at Flippin' Hippos. Today is Wednesday, February 26th, and today the eBay Spring Seller Update for 2020 has officially dropped. Everyone should have received their notifications through the eBay app, and if you go to the Seller Hub on your computer, under announcements, they've put a notice there with a link to click to go to the update. So I've had a chance this morning to read it over, look it over, kind of think about it, and what my thoughts and feelings are about all of the updates. The bad news is there's nothing super exciting or really great or any kind of really newsworthy yay for sellers updates in there. But the good news is there's nothing really bad either. In the past, most of you know that some of the updates, the seller updates that came out, had like updates in it that were bad news for sellers or detrimental or meant things were going to be revamped in such a way that we would have to change a lot of what we do in our businesses. This one doesn't have anything in it that's really going to impact us in any big major way or be detrimental to anybody. But on the other side, there's nothing really exciting either. There's a lot to unpack. It's big. It's full of information. There's a lot of reading. And there's a lot really about the item specifics, which is probably the biggest part of the update. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to kind of look over each of the updates and the text, and I'll kind of read some of it with you and make my comments and my thoughts and feelings on it as we go through. But I'm really just going to touch upon the big bullet points because, like I said, there's a lot to unpack. It's kind of big. There's a lot to read. So we'll go over an overview of it with me with the screen share, and then I'll make sure I put a link directly to it down in the box below for you guys, and then you can go through and read it word for word verbatim on your own time, and then decide for yourself what your thoughts and feelings are. And then I want to hear from everyone in the comments below what you think and your comments. So the biggest part, like I said, is the item specifics, and they are really trying hard to have this catalog and have all of their items, so specifically detailed with all of these item specifics. I guess I can see from one point of view where that could be a good thing. I just think it's a lot of extra work for sellers. I don't think when it comes to used clothing and things like that those types of items really shouldn't be cataloged. And there's certain item specifics that just don't make sense. And you guys know that. It's been that way since October 15th when they put in the item specifics, especially for used clothing. There's just a lot in there that just doesn't make sense. Like specifically, like on women's jeans, they have a style drop down, but they don't have all of the styles in the jeans there. They've just got like boyfriend and skinny and legging, and then they have this whole other item specific for the leg where you would put the boot cut or the flare. And in my opinion, that could all be in one drop down for the style, because I leave the style blank half the time because half of the jeans I list don't fall under those styles. So there's that, and then there's the weird things that happen when you're filling out your item specifics. You'll notice if you put the jeans are blue denim in your title, all of a sudden there's a character section for your jeans that it's about Blue's Clues. Nope, sorry, doesn't make sense. There's all those little idiosyncrasies all of us have been noticing since October. Weird little things that get filled in, and just item specifics that just don't make sense for what we're selling. This whole cataloging system and this whole item specific system, I think, is probably eBay's last ditch effort to really emulate Amazon and become more like Amazon. And I have said this before in videos. I've been saying it for 2 years since I've been on YouTube, 2 years and a month to be exact. And I've been saying it all along, and I'll say it again today. eBay really should not try to emulate Amazon. eBay should not try to be like Amazon. Amazon is its own platform. They have more big box stores. They have more specific rules as to what people can list. People are gated in certain items, and they have a lot of new items. eBay is supposed to be the biggest platform online for used items, rare and unique items, hard to find items. And the more that they try to emulate and become like Amazon, I think the harder it gets for us as sellers to really list our items there. That's my opinion. If you disagree, you can let me know. That's fine. If you agree, that's great too. We're all entitled to have our own feelings and opinions. And I think it's also going to depend on what you're selling. If you're not selling a lot of used clothing or used plush, or antiques, vintage, any of those types of hard to find items. If you're just straight up doing electronics, maybe it makes more sense for you on eBay. I just don't like the whole idea of the catalog and trying to get all of these item specifics in so that they can be more like Amazon, because eBay's not supposed to be Amazon. It's supposed to be its own entity, the used marketplace of the internet. So there is a ton of stuff about the item specifics, which we'll get into when I share my screen. And I'm just sitting there like, ugh, here we go again. We all know what happened when they implemented them the first time. We all saw that our used clothing sales plummeted. The bottom fell out for a lot of sellers when that was implemented, and searches were wonky, and buyers weren't able to search for items, or your items weren't showing up in the searches. Is this going to happen again when they roll out the new item specifics for these new categories? And what are those item specifics going to be like? Is it going to have stuff that really doesn't pertain, that doesn't make sense again? I mean, I'm not excited about it, and I'm not going to make a judgment until I actually see it roll out, but I kind of feel like if eBay has shown us anything historically with what happened in October, let's hope they learned from their mistakes, because that was horrendous. That was just not good for sellers. So, like I said, there isn't really any bad news in this update or detrimental stuff. It's just so much about these item specifics, and it's just they're trying too hard, I think, to have their catalog. But that's my opinion again. And then there's some other news in there about new international shipping, and a whole section and a whole bunch of information for those of you on eBay's managed payments. Keith and I are still holding out to our stance and our opinion that we do not wish to be in eBay managed payments, and we're going to hold out to the very end. We're going to go down with the sinking ship, and we will not go over to eBay managed payments until we are forced to. And there are a lot of sellers that have that stance, and then there are some sellers that want to do the eBay managed payments and like it, and that's fine. Everybody can do what they want with their business, but there's a whole bunch of stuff for those of you on eBay managed payments, which is probably good news for you guys. We'll go over it. And then some new shipping stuff, like I said, and then the item specifics and some other updates. But nothing horrible, nothing like the spring seller update of 2018, which went down in infamy as with sellers. But nothing bad, but nothing too exciting either. There wasn't anything where I was like, oh yay, woohoo, and there wasn't anything where I was just like, oh, here we go. Kind of meh. I kind of feel meh about the whole thing, like, whatever. So here we are at the 2020 Spring Seller Update page. They have each of the different update categories sectioned off for you here with some bullet points about each one. So we'll just kind of take a peek at each one and look at the highlights, kind of go over it briefly. As far as the updates to how you list, what you need to know. Category classification changes to help buyers find your items. Item specifics updates for better search results. New item specifics features on the active listings page in the Seller Hub. New multi-user account access permission. Volume pricing for non-eBay store sellers. Remove backgrounds from your item photos instantly. And there will be new Terapeak features. So as far as the new category changes to help buyers find your items, they're going to continue to make category changes And this will impact the following categories: business and industrial, watches, home and garden, and sporting goods, starting in May 2020. If you have an item listed in one of the affected categories and it is impacted by the changes, eBay will automatically move your listing to the most relevant category. You can view the impacted categories by using this link they provide. And if your item is moved, they want you to know you can experience a change in the fees, whether it be an increase or a decrease, depending on the category. They're encouraging everyone to review their listings to make sure they are located in the best fit categories. And they have eBay tools to revise your items. They have category trees and everything. Oh, this is fantastic. All this category stuff, I don't understand, but it's what they want to do, so. You're also going to be required to have the item specifics that they want filled out in order to publish your listings. So they're saying for the last year they've rolled required item specifics out in a number of categories, and you're going to be required to add the item specifics to your own. Let's hope there's not another October debacle, right, guys? They're going to make this a little bit easier for us by allowing us to find and update missing item specifics with the new features in the Seller Hub. So if your listings are missing these required item specifics, you can now quickly find and update them with 2 new features in Seller Hub. A new tasks feature and a quick filter. So you can view missing item specifics in the tasks module, and you can also use the new quick filter to view and add missing item specifics. And then they go through on how to specifically use that, give you a couple screenshots there. New Terapeak research features in Seller Hub and Terapeak.com deactivation. They say we continue to integrate Terapeak features and research into the Terapeak Research Insights tool in Seller Hub, and they're going to deactivate Terapeak.com on March 31st, 2020. You can also use Terapeak to see how specific products and categories are performing. So since they're going to be introducing Terapeak into the Seller Hub, these are the features that you can expect to see. Category selector, type ahead component, data visualization for items sold and at what prices, and data visualization for market share. Starting in March 2020, we will add more features to Terapeak to provide you with additional insights into your business data and that of your competitors. Coming in early spring, they will have unsold listing indexing and sell-through rate, aggregate metrics for active listings, listing report for active listings. In late spring, multi-user account access for Terapeak research, data visualizations for active listings. More updates to how you list. New multi-user account access permission read-only access to orders. So that's good for those of you that have assistants that help you or, employees. Reminder, increase your sales with volume pricing. And then this one is like probably the one and only thing that is exciting truly for sellers. In this update, you can now remove your remove backgrounds from your item photos instantly. Our new photo editing feature allows you to change any photo background to white. When you upload or select photos for your listings, you can now tap on the background removal feature to automatically add a white background or apply your own touch-ups. Access this feature in the eBay mobile app on your iOS or Android. Finally, something is rolling out at the same time for us Android users as the Apple people, so that's exciting. You'll be able to add and edit photos in the mobile app and finish your listings on the desktop. Of course, as always, the recommended best practice is to use a white background on the main photo because it does improve your listings visibility in Google and eBay. And that's been a best practice for a couple of years now, and it does require to have a setup like ours where you have the white paper or you have some kind of photo background, and it becomes more costly. This way you can pretty much take your photos anywhere and just wipe out the background and replace it with white. So that's very exciting. I'm super excited about that. Even with a setup like ours, I'm sure if you have one similar, sometimes you can catch shadows, or if you're photographing a very dark item, like a very dark wash jeans or a black top, it can sometimes make the background look grayish and not as much white. So this is exciting. I'm super stoked about this, especially because for once, Android is getting the implemented feature at the same time as the Apple users. Usually we have to wait a little bit longer. All right, updates to how you ship. This one's not as long, so we'll just quickly go through what you need to know. You're going to be able to ship internationally with eBay International Standard Delivery, FedEx Home Delivery Rate Reduction, and new notification of missing item location zip codes. So, eBay International Standard Delivery will improve many aspects of common international shipping experiences. The benefits include simplified pricing, reliable tracking and visibility, USPS pickup and drop-off, shipping protection for loss and damage, seller protection for feedback, and seller standards. So, there's a chart here you guys can look at on your own time, and it just compares the new eBay International Standard Delivery with Global Shipping Program and the USPS and the features that each one has going down. So that's pretty excited for those of you that like to sell internationally. And then FedEx 2-day delivery is a nationwide flat rate service that provides a reliable and cost-effective alternative to other shipping options. So the new pricing now is lower than in 2019. So that's good for folks who ship big items. And then they're going to let you know when your listings are missing item location zip codes. Updates to how you promote. There will be new offers to buyer enhancements. That's kind of exciting. So that's what you need to know. New offer to buyers enhancements. The offers to buyers feature enables you to initiate a negotiation process with buyers. We all already know that. They're giving you some statistics here that around 30% more watchers turn into buyers when they receive an offer from a seller. So there's going to be lower minimum discounts, allow counter offers on your mobile device. So up to now, if you wanted to allow counter offers on the offers you sent to watchers, you could only do that on the desktop. This will now be available on the eBay app on your mobile device. And then you're going to be able to see your eligible listings a little bit differently. And they're going to have a lot more available in the app that's going to be similar to how you use it on the desktop. Updates to how you service your customers. Let's take a peek at that section. What you need to know. Manage common selling issues with seller help, updates to handling returns and cases, and new protections against buyers you previously blocked. So with seller help, you will be able to manage refunds, returns, items not received, and item not as described cases all in one place. You'll be able to submit requests to eBay to review feedback and defects for removal. You'll be able to see your recent your policy notifications. See your recent policy notifications, including anything that went wrong, and report buyers who abuse the eBay policies. Start using seller help, and then they go down through the steps here with some screenshots to show you what you're going to be looking at and how to use it and what you can do with it. There's going to be seller protection changes for item not received claims filed through eBay money back guarantee, and it kind of goes through that here. There's a lot of information there. Updates to how you manage your financials. So this is all of the information I mentioned in the beginning of the video about eBay managed payments. There's a ton of updates in here for folks who use the managed payment features. There's going to be new features when eBay manages your payments, continued global expansion. You will now be able to download 1099s. You'll have scheduled payouts for a weekly deposit option. They're going to implement or integrate the global shipping program into the managed payment system, and they'll have new ways to pay for shipping labels. You can use PayPal, or if you're using managed payments, you can deduct shipping label costs from your pending payouts. So that's pretty cool if you use the managed payment systems. Instead of paying up front for the labels, you'll be able to take that from your pending payouts and pay for them with the money you've already made, kind of like you did before managed payments when it was all PayPal. And the global shipping program is pretty cool. Up until now, those of us that use the global shipping program couldn't be put into the managed payments. I have no interest though, so I'll just hang out until they force me. But they're going to continue to expand to additional markets. They have a bunch of FAQs down here. And if you have a PayPal working capital loan, they are trying to make your transition to managed payments as smooth as possible. It sounds like if you read this paragraph, they're trying to put your loan through Square Capital and take it away from PayPal, which I don't think is going to make very many people with working capital loans happy, but you can read that and decide for yourself. Anyway, if you are on the managed payment systems, I strongly recommend you reading this section. And then the last section is updates to your user agreement. So this is probably the most important one you actually need to go in and read word for word. The user agreement is basically your contract between you and eBay as a seller on their platform, and anytime they make amendments to it or changes to it, you need to be on top of that. You need to read it, and it's very long and it's full of legalese, so I'm not going to sit here and read this to you guys. It's just a lot. You can see I'm scrolling down, and there's a lot of information here. So make sure you guys take a look at this for yourself. Again, I was just trying to hit the basic highlights and go over the bullet points, the what you need to know about the update, and kind of just give you sort of my feelings and opinions on everything. Alright guys, like I said, I'll put the link down for you in the description box so that you can go whenever you have some spare time. I know none of us really have a lot of spare time, but it will be super duper important for you to read the seller update word for word and go over it and make sure that you've read everything for yourself and that you understand everything. That is our responsibility as sellers on eBay, to read all of the updates word for word, make sure we understand everything that's going on, and specifically the user agreement changes that I talked about and kind of showed you guys. It is absolutely imperative that each and every one of you sit down and read that word for word for word, so you know what you as the user is agreeing to with eBay to be a seller on their platform. Whenever they do any kind of updates to that user agreement, or if you're new to eBay and you're already selling on eBay and you have never read the user agreement, it is so super important. I already said the word imperative, but it's imperative. If you're going to be a user on eBay, you need to read the user agreement so that there are no surprises down the line, so that you're toeing the line, you're doing what you're supposed to do, but you also know what's in there for you as a seller to protect you. It's always a good idea to read any kind of agreement before you enter into any kind of contract with anyone. I recommend everyone read it thoroughly, all the way through, word for word, but if you don't have time, the most important part that you read is the updates to the user agreement. Alright guys, what are your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions on the spring seller update for 2020? Let me know down in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up before you leave, guys. It really helps the channel. If you haven't already and you'd like to, please subscribe to our channel and help us feed a hungry hippo. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Flippin' Hippos. Join our Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. And last but not least, if you want to email me, you can do so at flippinhipposhelp@gmail.com. Until next time, guys, go read that updated user agreement. Go be productive. Go make some money. Thank you so much for watching and listening today. I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are the best. Absolutely. See you later. Bye.